And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Intercontinental Hotel. What a guest! We have every time Tonny Gachoka shows up, you know it's going to be nothing short of a shocker. Tweets coming in. Really? Thick and fast, that's right. I Volunteer says, has Tonny Gachoka joined the third wave? JKL is scorching hot. Black Ward says, Tonny for EACC. If appointed, can you deliver? They think you're talking candidly tonight, Tonny.
Well, let me say this. I'm a businessman, Jeff, a retired political strategist. And once in a while, you bring me from retirement.
Yes.
And maybe next week I'll be doing something else on a national level because I want to talk to Koinange and I want to talk to them at a bottom level. But Jeff, you asked me a question and I want to answer him through you.
Go on.
What is the way forward?
Yeah.
Jeff, in the Republic of Israel, was not a retired or prime minister. What was
Former mayor.
Mayor.
Ehud Olmert.
Was he not jailed?
He was jailed for corruption.
In the greatest nation on earth, was Bill Clinton not taken to a senatorial impeachment trial by a stain on address of Monica Lewinsky? Was he not taken or was he?
Yeah.
Was there never Watergate? Jeff, let's be frank. Are you saying that there are no nations that tackle these issues? In the United Kingdom the other day,
there are nations.
2 MPs were recorded in secret, seeking services to redeem the former secretary, Jack Straw.
Yeah.
And another colleague were both put to task. But they did the honorable thing and resigned.
But Tonny, that can never happen here.
Why can it never happen?
Kenyans don't resign.
Presidents are created by overcoming the word called never. When we went to the elections in 2013, people said that the ICC was a curse and was a rope that would hang Uhuru Kenyatta. He went and faced the trial. And I sat here on this bench many times against the African Union and against even people going to the UN asking for Uhuru to get an easy trial. And I said, face the charges and overcome them so forever they can rest. And I want to say this, because the former Prime Minister also did so. He was charged with sedition. He went to a court of law and overcame the charges. So today you can never say Raila Odinga committed a crime in the coup d'etat of '82 because he went before a competent judiciary and he was acquitted. Charles Jonjo was charged on the issue of the traitor, but he overcame those charges. The point
he resigned.
And he resigned. Now the issue I'm asking...
So did Martha Karua.
And Martha Karua. So what I'm asking is this. Why are we becoming emotional about one thing that makes Kenya one of the poorest nations on earth? Last week, The Economist reported that Kenya is now number 3.
Yeah, third fastest.
Growing economy in the world. Yeah. We are doing an airport here at the JKIA. We are doing the rail. And 10 men or women in this country holding positions of importance. Our headline news, corruption, corruption, corruption. How will you imagine a man and a woman, like the cameraman who sits behind here, and he doesn't know why JKL works? This guy, he's got a job. He's got to go home after midnight every day and tell his wife, I'm sorry I'm late, but I was working. And then in the morning, you see somebody who doesn't work, called Alfred Kittel, land with a helicopter on Mombasa Road and tell the policeman, if you don't release this vehicle, I'm going to fire you. And we are parliament. And he says, I'm calling the controller. We cannot allow this kind of impunity.
Double standards. Private developer, Tonny, a guy called Private Developer says, it's a real crossfire, sir. Thank you for not taking sides. Big up, Tonny Gachoka. John Wills Njoroga says, today's show reveals irresponsible masculinity thrill in our leadership. Sleep has disappeared. Also, another text coming in from Joy Doreen Mboya. Mbira.
Yeah, Mbira. Oh, sorry, I see. Mbira. Works for KTN.
She does.
Oh, yes. That's the African program.
She does.
Ah, right.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
What does Tonny think of Tony Blair's appointment to oversee Jubilee projects?
I think it was not transparent. I think that worries people. I think that Tony Blair has questions he has not answered that have been raised on his appointments in various other areas, and he should be no exception. whether you are Babu Namwamba or Tony Blair, you must be subjected in any appointment in government to the same standard.
Wasn't he a Middle East expert? Isn't that what his role is now? I mean, what is he doing in this part of the world?
You asked my opinion,
yes.
and I don't think he's an expert.
You're not really giving me a good answer.
Okay, my answer is this, and it's simple. He did not go through due process. There can be no shortcut, either by executive appointments. And let me also remind Kenyans that President Kibaki tried this. He appointed a Chief Justice that was overturned by the Supreme Court. He appointed Attorney Generals and he appointed DPP, Kilkumi, that were overturned. I don't think that Uhuru Kenyatta should have a license at his will to appoint people and outside the political process. And I'm saying that's why I am recommending to my brother and my friend, and that's why I'm asking for this tape to go to him, that if some of his advisors and some of the processes that have been undertaken are wrong, he has a duty, constitutional, moral, to be able to correct it. And the only way to do so, and he has done well so far, is to keep the confidence and the integrity of his office intact.
Tony, how come no one's been prosecuted for Chicken Gate so far? What's taking so long? I mean,
I think I wanted to talk about
the two Brits involved in that resigned or were jailed. Were they jailed?
I would want to talk about those who are jailed. I can't talk about the Kenyan process because I think it's sub judice. I don't think it's good for your station or me or you to get into it.
Really? You talk about James Bond.
No, yeah, but he's a no-name. No, I'm saying, and if you want to and your directors allow, and there's no disclaimer, I'm quite happy to talk about it. But I'm saying there's an ongoing matter in the court, and I'm saying discussing individuals. What I can say is that the fact that these investigations, which have been done by CASA, can become suspect, will bring a question as to whether or not there was integrity. And my worry is, in all this mess, who are we going to believe? And I'm saying that the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister today, called on the anti-graft body to investigate the corruption in Parliament. And I'm saying that the President has also called for the anti-graft body to investigate all the scandals of corruption, including Chicken Gate. Yeah. So the question that begins in the beginning is anti-corruption authority capable, able, willing to do their work? Should they be disbanded? Now, of course, they must be disbanded. It must be, because you can't have a chair who is under scrutiny by his commissioners, who write to the president secretly asking for his removal. Then you have a chair communicate a communication clearly outside his powers and the law, and the CEO reinstating somebody that he purports to have sacked. One of the things that worries me most about this private confidential thing that I have is that the two vice chair, Mrs. Keano and the rest, have said they are never consulted by the chair. He goes to the media and gives communications on behalf of the commission without consulting commissioners and without consulting the secretary to the commission, who is the CEO. Now that begs the question whether or not they are lying and whether or not Mutemu is lying. So first of all, if they are lies, this is criminal negligence. And under the law, and because they have taken Kenyans to court on the integrity that they purport to have, they must be beyond Caesar's wife.
Tony, you just mentioned about Kenya's economy being the third fastest growing in the world, and you know, Kenya is moving. Yes. Let's face it, Kenya is moving. Yes. And we're being held back by these individuals, right?
Absolutely. But there is an answer, and I'm giving you the answer.
Your answer is crack the whip, arrest some people.
The president has no choice, because the next election is going to be fought on one platform and only one platform, regardless of your tribe, your religion, or your county. Whether it's the governor, whether it's the MCA, whether it is people in the president's office. The president went on public, was it 2 years ago, and said that people in his own office were corrupt. Now, these are matters that have touched the executive. They are now touching parliament. They have touched the body that investigates corruption. People don't trust the judiciary. And you don't trust that I'm telling you there is James Bond. So all these things are a part of the Kenyan psyche.
Right.
And I'm saying to you, the moment you take James Bond in and the likes of him, then the ghost will go. And I tell you this.
You have a problem with two people tonight, James Bond and our good senator here, Robin Hood.
No, okay, let me ask you about our good senator, because I want to be on record. I would like to see the tax returns of Senator Mike Sonko for the last 5 years. I challenge him in any program, on any day, to bring them, and I'll come and bring mine. You cannot buy 30 Mercedes Benzes and you travel all over Kenya, buying everybody food, you buying ambulance, buying, I don't know, what is the work of the county government? Or if this man is so wealthy, like Bill Gates, let him register a foundation. And let it be run.
He's got one.
Which one? What is it called? Rescue who from what? Rescue Nairobi from Sonko. Because people are just taking money without knowing where it's coming from. I mean, really, you Koinange, I think the media in Kenya, they like the drama. You know, gold cars. You know, I saw this man in a mortuary who needed to be rescued with 10 guns in a mortuary. You know, with a gun until a statement had to be used by Internal Security Minister Kaiseri that this man is going beyond the law. Now, let me ask you. Now, he said, now, I'm going to put this man in jail. I'm going to rescue you. I'm going to marry you. Now, what he does, look, let me ask you this. He's got a marriage convoy. If you want to get married, you call rescue. If you want to die, you call rescue. He brings a hearse. If there is a fire, you call rescue. Now, what's the role of government?
But most of the time, he's the first one there, or his team is the first one there.
Can we swear him in State House tomorrow? Jeff? Now, the other issue, and this is important. Hold on. This is important, Jeff.
Go on.
The Ivory Coast First Lady.
Yes.
Has been
Madame Gbagbo. 20 years she got.
For what? Because
being involved in the violence.
Because Africa can work. Where was she jailed?
In Ivory Coast.
By who?
The local courts.
Who is bringing problems in Ivory Coast? It's been done at Ivory Coast. Idi Amin was disposed by who?
Tanzania.
And Ugandan boys of 16 years old. They said no more. Who saved Rwanda?
Paul Kagame.
Is he not there?
RPF.
After 1 million people died? Why does the media want to express this sense of hopelessness that we are hostage of 10 or 20 people? The country is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And we must take back our country and reject politics of exclusion. And we must hold everyone to account. Those in the courts and those who are not. You cannot arrest James Bond or not arrest him and leave Sonko to go around Nairobi doing what he's doing. So if Jubilee is going to be fair and the government must be trusted, we must ask all the people to account for where they have come from and what they have done.
Is Ababu finished?
In my view, Ababu was finished the moment Raila is a fisher of men. I've told you this several times.
Go on.
Raila's best song, the former Prime Minister, I love it. And please, I hope ODM supporters don't take badly. I'm a fisher of men, fisher of men, fisher of men, if you follow me. Now, Ababu questioned the decision at Kasarani. He was installed, not elected. Today, the former Prime Minister has issued a statement asking all legal agencies to use the full power before them and the law to take its course. Now, if you are a Ababu and you are a lawyer, I know you may be only 39, but really you need then to go and look for the, other legal counsel and understand that that means simply carry your own cross.
In the meantime,
so in other words, no, I have to say this.
Is he finished?
Politically with Raila, yes. Why? He taped him. Let me ask you, if you are Secretary General and I'm party leader and you tape me and you take the tape before you, how will I, so already he's finished. By the act of taping his leader, he's gone. Now, the other matters are heavier. First of all, where he gets money for helicopters, there are people who have turned on him. He has written a letter talking about MPs who have put him. And I want to say this. The Parliamentary Accounts Committee under the chairmanship of Ababu is the worst performing of any parliament since independence. It is very clear and categorical that they have counter-accused each other. The records of the Hansard, the 2 letters to the Speaker are from the same committee. And the letter that accused Ababu was from an ODM member.
One of their own.
And the person accusing Sonko, Tonny Gachoka, is a supporter of the president. So it is not about parties.
Speaking of Tonny Gachoka, please never ever sing on this show again, please.
Oh, thank you, my God. My wife agrees.
Guy called Tony Dollar says, Champions League will have to wait. JKL to the end. Bench is on fire.
Could I ask you a question, Jeff? When you were a young man, and in those days,
time ago.
Did you watch Vioja Mahakamani?
Of course.
No, wewe ongea Kiswahili. Uliona Vioja Mahakamani?
Tulitazama.
Haya, basi ilikuwa ni nini yale mambo mtu aliyekuwa amestakiwa anaambiwa? Ni matatu. Unakumbuka?
Sikumbuki.
Usimame hapa ujitetee. Uende pale unyamaze kimya ugojee uamuzi wa koti. Ama ukubali mashtaka. Sasa mimi namwambia mheshimiwa Ababu na Mwamba kinaga ubaga. Mambo ni matatu. Usimame pale ujitetee.
La pili,
ama ukae pale ugoje uamuzi wa koti, ama uende ukubali mashtaka. Sasa sio nikasema mimi ni yeye Leonard Mambo Botela na watu wa zamani walikuwa wanasema ukiangalia kadanda na JJ Masika anajivuta nyuma apige mpira unashika na kifua sio na mkono. Basi nakwambia wakati huu katika siasa za Kenya mabadiliko makubwa imekuja kwa sababu bunge yenyewe inajiuliza ya kwamba kama tunaaminiwa sisi na wananchi wa Kenya. In other words, Parliament has put itself on trial, and that is why every Kenyan must read Chinua Achebe's book, Things Fall Apart.
The center has not held.
They have asked for all the power, and you know the rules and the art of war. Let me say this to Ababu.
Go on.
Please read the art of war. When you are a strong man, like you are in Kasarani, overrun them and crush them.
Because they come back.
When you are of equal strength, you offer battle. But Ababu, my brother, when you are weaker, you run from them. That is not me, it's the art of war.
By the way, Tony, your Swahili is very impressive, man. Very impressive.
Now,
final thoughts. That camera right there, Tony. I give you the final thoughts. Go for it. This is your moment.
My final thoughts are three. Number one, that I did watch the March in Selma, an Oprah Winfrey's sponsored movie that asked for us never to forget how we have come to become what we were. And one of the things that drives me are people like Martin Luther King, because they never knew that their message would live long beyond them. And also in recent times, I want to say this, that the war in Chechnya, when I see another world war almost happening because of bad leadership, I want to say that anything can go wrong when leadership goes wrong. So my final thoughts are this: let us do what is right. Let us do what is fair. And in the words of the third US president, on matters of principle, I stand as a rock. But on matters of ideas, you can swim with the current. But on matters of principle, you stand as a rock.
Well put, Tony, well put. But I think before you meant the war in Ukraine, not Chechnya.
In Ukraine?
Yeah, you said Chechnya.
It has grown because they have arrested a man from Chechnya who has admitted, I'm told, by evidence, that he shot the man in Ukraine because this is a growing, and I don't know if you saw the presidents of other states in Russia who are now saying, hold on, we are now scared. Because if you don't stop Ukraine, this thing spreads because the Soviet Union wants to expand. So if you have a man like Putin, and he's very convincing, that's how people like Hitler began.
Last minute advice for Babu. Quick, real quick, 30 seconds.
To Babu, I would say, first of all, tell Baba sorry and hope he'll forgive you. Number two, enda kwa koti ujitete, uapishwe ama ulizwe maswali, ama useme nimekubali. Yoyote, that is your freedom and your democracy. But importantly, resign your position if you don't have integrity. Don't put the party, don't put yourself and your family through a matter which is a matter of integrity. There is no fear, there is no cowardice in resigning and fighting to fight another day.
And to the leadership of this country, let's crack some heads. Let's crack the whip.
To my brother Uhuru Kenyatta, God has given you a privilege of good upbringing, good position because you're a good man. A wife who leads this country by saying what she means and means what she says.
Sprints.
And she sprints and runs for Kenya. Mr. President and my brother, have no friends when it comes to Kenya. Do the right thing and put the right people to do the right job.
At the right time.
Whatever the party.
Tony.
And that's why I like being with you.
Thanks for coming through today, man. I really appreciate it. I don't know what I would have done for an hour. I can only speak for so long. Can't speak for an hour.
Jeff, if it was not you, I would have stayed in retirement.
Good man. Keep talking. Keep walking. Like Johnny Walker. I'm sorry.
Maybe I should be a pastor, like
Maybe you should.
Can we start a church?
Or DK. DK.
DK. Well, can we start a church? You know what my theme will be?
What? No, Kanyari tried it already. So it doesn't work.
I think so. Jeff, let me say this. I tell you this, and this is something you should remember. What you did in Korogosho, do it again.
Oh, come on, man.
I've told you, do it
like
again.
That?
I do. Because you gave books to the children to learn. To the kids. And you education. And tell Larry Modoy, I really love that.
Larry who? Something.
Yeah. We'll find out his name on Twitter. Hi, Larry.
Speaking of Twitter. Oh my gosh. Keep tweeting at Tonny Gachoka, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. What a show. What a guest. We've got to keep talking, folks. And this corruption animal, this big elephant in the room, we've got to get rid of it. That's the only way we're going to move forward as a nation and get those accolades as the fastest or third fastest.
Uhuru, your legacy will be to deal with corruption. Deal with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tomorrow night, you know, Thursday is supposed to be Inspiration Thursday, huh?
I saw you here with this guitar. I love Elvis.
That's why I never want you to sing again.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, I agreed.
Okay.
My wife agrees.
All right. Okay, okay, what? We're trying to get Mama G. You know Mama G?
Oh, yeah.
You know Mama G?
Yes, absolutely.
We're trying to get Mama G tomorrow night.
Come on.
I think that would be great for Kenyans.
I've got to be on the fireplace with a glass of water.
Hell! What? Glass of?
Water. And coffee with no caffeine.
Yeah. And I'm Jewish.
This CNN thing, you know, I think when I remember Jeff's accent was when, this is CNN, live from Nigeria. And I said, who's this man?
I think it's time for Tony to leave now. Tony, go back to where you were. Thank you. Join us tomorrow night. We will definitely have a guest for Inspiration Thursday. And of course, every Wednesday, it's all about politics, tackling and asking the hard questions that need to be asked. Keep talking, because the minute we stop talking is the minute we start fighting. And we do not want to go down that slippery slope. Thanks so much for joining us back on air. JKL is the place to be every Wednesday, Thursday, right here on Kenya's television network, KTN. All right, folks, go watch Champions League now after the end of the show. Tony, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Good luck.
Be okay, man.